Good morning, students. So let me introduce first. My name is P. Sridevi, working as Head of Electrical and Electronics Engineering Section, Government Polytechnic Warangal. So now I am dealing with subject Electrical Engineering and Electronics Devices according to C18 curriculum. So now we are in the second unit, that is electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. So in this we are going to discuss about Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, dynamically induced EMF, statically induced EMF, self-induced EMF and mutually induced EMF. So these are linked with actually magnetism. All these topics are linked with magnetism. So first of all, what is the meaning of magnet? Magnet means it is a property which attracts another magnetic material. But these magnets can be prepared manually also. It means natural magnets are available and man-made magnets are also available, artificial magnets. Okay. So these magnets can be prepared with the help of current, by passing current through a material. Through a material means we cannot use materials like wood or like that. We have to use ferromagnetic materials, only magnetic materials like iron, cobalt or like that. Okay. So iron is the perfect material for the magnetism. Okay. To develop the magnetic field, iron is the perfect material. So if I take a magnet and over which if I want with a copper wire and if I give the supply, so whenever current passes through the wire, that structure acts like a magnetic circuit and a magnetic field will be developed. Okay. So this magnetic field is represented by imaginary lines of force. It means those magnetic field cannot be visible. If you take a bulb, if you switch on the bulb, what happens? Light rays will emerge from the bulb. But we are able to see the light rays and we can sense a little bit heat. The light rays are a little bit hot. Okay. We can sense that. But we cannot sense if you take sun rays, maybe we are not able to see, but we can feel. Okay? We can feel. But these magnetic lines, we cannot feel. Okay? But we can observe. How we can observe that I explained in the last classes? We can observe by sprinkling the iron powder on a paper which is placed above the magnet. So that all the iron fillings, they took the shape of magnetic lines. So these magnets are very, very important in electrical engineering. So without magnets, we cannot operate generators, motors or transformers. In all those, we will use magnets. But what type of magnets we will use? We are not using any natural magnets. We are using only electromagnets. Means whenever current passes, then only they act like magnets. Such magnets are known as electromagnets. So now we are in the chapter electromagnetic induction. So induction is the one more important, very, very important word. What is induction? Induction is nothing but inducing something, some quality, some property which is in us, in others. The property what we are having in us, we are inducing in others. Okay? We are inducing that quality in others. Okay. So here electromagnetic induction means the process of inducing. So we are the entire chapter, entire subject we are dealing with electric power only. So the process of transferring either magnetic flux or EMF, whatever it may be, from one circuit to other circuit, one electric circuit to other electric circuit, without having any electrical connection, but only with the help of magnetic connection, only with the help of magnetic link. Such process is known as electromagnetic induction. Once again, the process of transferring electrical energy from one circuit to, from electrical circuit to, because circuits may be either electric circuit or magnetic circuit, but here I am discussing about electric circuit. One electric circuit to other electric circuit without having any electrical connection, only through the help of magnetism, only with the help of magnetic flux. That process is known as electromagnetic induction. Okay? In this chapter, we will discuss about electromagnetic induction. So that is the meaning of electromagnetic induction. So in the previous lesson, we discussed about what is a magnetic circuit, what is a magnetic circuit, what is electric circuit, what is magnetic leakage coefficient. So what is a magnetic circuit? A circuit in which magnetic flux passes is known as magnetic circuit. A circuit in which electric current passes is known as electric circuit. There are so many similarities in between, analogies between magnetic and electric circuit. Here we will use the word flux, there we will use current. In magnetism, we will use MMF, magneto-motive force, force which motivates flux to pass through the circuit. Whereas in electric circuit, we will use EMF, the force which motivates electrons to pass through the circuit. The flow of electrons is nothing but current. So, force which motivates current to pass through the circuit is known as electric circuit. Now, the quantity which opposes the current is known as, the property of a material which opposes the current is known as resistance. So here, the property of a material which opposes the flux is known as reluctance. Which opposes the flux is known as reluctance. Okay? Now, the magnetic flux is nothing but a total number of magnetic lines emerging from a pole. Emerging from a pole. So, electric flux is nothing but the total number of electric lines of force emerging from a charged body. Either positively charged body or negatively charged body. But the main difference here is, we have to discuss the differences only. In magnetism, suppose this is the magnet. If I break the magnet into two pieces, this is the north pole and this is the south pole. And if I break the magnet into two pieces, this other end will become, if this is the north, this end will become south pole. And this end will become again north pole. It means it is not possible to exist isolated north pole or south pole. Single north pole or south pole. Definitely a magnet will consist of two poles, north and south. But when compared to electric circuits, electrism is also having two types of charges, positive charge and negative charge. But isolated positive charge or isolated negative charge can exist. Okay? Definitely positive charge separately exists, negative charge separately exists. This is one of the important difference between magnetic circuit and electric circuit. One more difference is there is no insulator for magnetic flux. It passes through all the substances. conducting and non-conducting substances. Conducting and non-conducting substances. But electric circuit, the electric lines of force, they do not pass through the conducting substances. They passes through only non-conducting substances only. Okay. So, and we discussed about magnetic leakage coefficient. Actually, the flux developed inside a magnet, is not totally utilized. Some amount of the flux definitely wasted. So the ratio of useful flux by total flux, the ratio of useful flux by total flux is known as magnetic leakage coefficient. Magnetic leakage coefficient. And in magnetic circuits, it is made with a highly magnetic material like iron, and over which a coil is wounded. But the electrical circuit, it may consist of resistances, capacitors, inductors, okay, etc. Now in this lesson, we will discuss the some important procedures, events linked with induction, electromagnetic induction. What happens with this induction? Okay. So we will discuss Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. And second one is dynamically induced EMF. Dynamically induced EMF. Statically induced EMF. And self-induced EMF, mutually induced EMF. So all these topics we will discuss in this chapter, okay? So first we will discuss the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So before going to the law, first we have to discuss what is electromagnetic induction. What is electromagnetic induction? Suppose see here, in the second figure we are having two coils. For the first coil we are giving current and I am supplying the current is passing through the coil, hence flux is developed in the first coil. For the second coil, we are not at all giving any supply, but the magnetic flux is linked in the second coil. So in the second coil, we are not giving any supply, but with the help of the first coil, the flux developed in the first coil is linking with the second coil. Madam, how it links with the second coil means, suppose two houses are constructed nearby each other. If we keep radio in the first house, if we keep a sound little bit larger, high volume, so the second house persons cannot hear the sound of radio in the first house. Definitely sound waves travel to the second house also. We cannot restrict the waves to stop here only. So in this way now, the magnetic flux is developed in the coil, first coil. There is no insulator for the magnetic flux. Hence the flux passes through the atmosphere and reaches the second coil. So you know, whenever rotating conductor is placed in a magnetic field, వాటర్ పైప్ ఉంటే ఏం కాదు, ఇబ్బంది అవుతుంది. వాటర్ పైప్ ఉండమని సార్ ఏం చెప్తున్నాను కదా, వీడియో వీడియోలు చూసి చేస్తే గట్టిగా ఉంటుంది కదా. మరి మాటలు విడిగా రైస్ బాయిల్ చేస్తున్నావా, ఒకసారి వాడు మూకుల్లో కర్రీ వేస్తున్నావు కదా, ఆ మూకుల్లో బాయిల్ చేసిన రైస్ మూకుల్లో వేసి మూకుల్లో ఏంటంటే నాన్న ఎందుకు చేసి మీరు చేస్తున్నారు కదా బిర్యానీ ఎక్కడ కొంచెం అక్కడ ఉండేది మీకు ఏమైనా ఫోన్ ఇక చంపుతాం ఇక. So like that we are able to hear the radio voice from the first house, we can hear the voice in the second house. So similarly here also the flux is developed in the first coil, that flux links with the second coil. See if I keep this is one coil, if I keep another coil, if the flux is developed in this coil, if I place this coil nearer to this, definitely this flux links with this coil also. So whenever conductor cuts the flux, EMF is induced. Okay, so based on that some EMF will be induced in this conductor also. That is the first. So the process of inducing flux developed in coil the flux developed in the coil 1 is induced to coil 2, is passed to coil 2. Because of that flux some EMF is induced in the coil. This EMF is known as induced EMF. Induced EMF. So what is the induction means? Electromagnetic induction means the process of inducing something, the process of inducing a voltage in another circuit which is not electrically linked but through only magnetically linked. That process is known as electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. Now so far we discussed whenever in the first chapter mechanical force, current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, then it tends to rotate. That we observed in the first lesson. Now in reverse what I mean to say is, whenever rotating conductor or whenever conductor cuts the flux, if this is the conductor, if I place this conductor in a magnetic field, some flux will attach to the conductor. Some flux will attach to the conductor. Then what happens? EMF is induced in that conductor. EMF is induced in that conductor. You remember this word? Induced EMF is different. Applied voltage is different. Voltage is applied from our source, from external electricity board supply. Then EMF is developed in the conductor itself, that is known as induced EMF. Okay, so the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, the Faraday's first law is the instantaneous EMF induced in a circuit is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux through the circuit. Okay. So the first law is, Faraday's first law is, any change in the magnetic field of a coil of wire will cause an EMF to be induced in the coil. See, initially there is no flux in this coil, it is some far away. This is the magnetic field. Here we are having the magnetic field. I am bringing the conductor into the magnetic field. Then some flux will attach to the conductor. Then EMF will be induced. So in technical terms what we have to say? Whenever conductor cuts the flux, some flux links with the conductor, hence EMF will be induced in the conductor. That is Faraday's first law of electromagnetic induction. What is that? Whenever conductor cuts the flux, EMF will be induced in that conductor. EMF is induced in that conductor. Okay. See, any change in the magnetic field of a coil or wire. So the change in magnetic field of coil, initially there is no flux in this coil. When this conductor is away from here, there is no flux in the coil. If I bring the coil into the magnetic field, then some flux links with that coil. That is the word, any change in the magnetic field of a coil. There is no magnetic field in the coil when the coil is away from here. When I am bringing the coil nearer to the magnetic field, into the magnetic field, then some flux links with the coil. So that is that whenever conductor or a coil cuts the magnetic field, some flux links with the coil, hence EMF is induced. It means whenever the flux linking with the coil is changing, then EMF will be induced. Initially zero flux, now after bringing into the magnetic field, some flux is linking. So the flux linking with the coil is changed from 0 to some value. Hence EMF will be induced. So any change in the magnetic field of a coil of a wire will cause an EMF to be induced in the coil. So this EMF is known as induced EMF. Induced EMF. If the conductor is closed, the two ends of the wire of the conductor are closed, then current, whenever EMF induces, if the circuit is closed, conductor circuit is closed, current passes through the coil. Current passes through the coil. So the method to change the magnetic field. How can you change the flux linking with the coil? Just this is the magnetic field, okay. My hand is magnetic field, this is the conductor. First take the conductor into the magnetic field, then take away from the magnetic field. Take into the magnetic field, take away from the magnetic. Take into the magnetic field, take. By doing this, what happens? Flux linking with the conductor is changing. Initially it is 0, then it is some flux. Again 0, again some flux. By moving the magnet towards or away from the coil. I am moving, and so this is the conductor. If this is the magnet, bring the magnet to the conductor, bring away from the conductor. Bring the magnet towards the conductor, bring away from the conductor. Or another way, keep the magnet stationary. Move the coil into the magnet, out of the magnet. Into the magnet, out of the magnet. Okay? Or by changing area of a coil placed in the magnetic field. So, see, this entire is conductor. Now I am keeping entire coil in the magnetic field. Now I am keeping a portion of the coil in the magnetic field. That is the by changing area of a coil placed in the magnetic field. So by all these methods, by rotating the coil related to the magnet, or both are moving like this. By adopting any one of these four methods, we can change the flux linking with the coil. Whenever flux linking with the coil is changing, EMF is induced. This is Faraday's first law. Faraday's first law. Okay. See here, the figure we will see. So this is the conductor. This is the conductor. This is the magnet. The magnetic field is developed in the magnet. This flux is passing through the coil. When there is no magnet, the flux in this coil is 0. When we are bringing this magnet nearer to the coil, some flux linked with the coil, hence some EMF is induced. Thus EMF is indicated by this galvanometer. Okay. Now Faraday's second law. Now what I am saying is, whenever conductor is linking with the flux, EMF is induced in that conductor. But how much EMF is induced? The amount of EMF depends on what factors? The amount of EMF depends on what factors? See, so this is the magnetic field. This is the magnetic field. This is the conductor. When I am moving the conductor into the magnetic field and away from like this, EMF is induced. The amount of EMF depends on what factors? Means how many turns they are having on the conductor. And see, I am moving very slowly like this. So then change in flux is very less. Okay. or if I am moving very fast like this, then the change in flux is very high. So the rate at which flux linking with the conductor is changing, if it is changing at very higher rate, more amount of EMF will be induced. If the change in flux is changing with a lower rate, less amount of EMF will be induced. That is Faraday's second law of electromagnetic induction. It states that the magnitude of EMF induced in the coil is equal to the rate of change of flux that linkages with the coil. Rate of change of means, the meaning is at what rate it is changing, at how much fast it is changing. The flux linkage of the coil is product of number of turns in the coil and flux associated with the coil. So indirectly the EMF induced also depends on the rate of change of flux linkages and number of turns. See, I am moving like this. The flux linking with the conductor is changing very slowly. It is 0, some flux. Again 0, some flux. Again 0, some flux. So the flux linking with the conductor is changing very slowly. Now see, the flux linking with the conductor is changing at higher rate. So the EMF induced mainly depends on the rate at which the flux linking with the conductor is changing. So now N is number of turns. So the flux linking with the coil is nothing but product of number of turns and flux. Now when it is not in the magnetic field, the initial flux, let us assume it is pi 1. When it is kept in the magnetic field, the final flux is pi 2. So what is the flux linkages? N pi 1 is the first initial flux linkages, N pi 2 is the final flux linkages. From here to here moving, what is the time taken? T seconds. So what is the rate of change of flux linkages? Change in flux by time taken. So what is the change in flux? Final flux minus initial flux. N pi 2 minus N pi 1 by T. So E is equal to N pi 2 pi 1 by T. Pi 2 minus pi 1 is nothing but d pi. So E is equal to N d pi by dt, where N pi 1 is initial flux linkages, N pi 2 is final flux linkages. See, this is the magnetic field. Number of turns are N we are having. When it is here, the conductor is here, flux is pi 1. So flux linking with the coil is N pi 1. Means flux is 0, but here we are indicating by pi 1. When I am keeping the conductor in the magnetic field, flux linking with the conductor is N into pi 2. So what is the change in flux linkages? N pi 1, N pi 2. From here to here, how much time it is taken? T. So rate of change of flux linkage is equal to N pi 2 minus N pi 1 by T. So EMF induced is equal to N d pi by dt volts. N d pi by dt volts, where d pi is change in flux, dt is time taken to change the flux. Time taken to change the flux. So this is Faraday's second law of electromagnetic induction. See, the instantaneous EMF. Instantaneous means voltage induced at that instant. At that instant. The induced voltage now may not be there after 5 seconds. Okay. So the instantaneous EMF induced in a coil circuit is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux through the circuit. Rate of change of magnetic flux through the circuit. So if the circuit consists of n turns, like this, n turns of same area, and the flux is pi b, then EMF induced is equal to minus n d pi by dt. Minus n d pi by dt. Why we are getting minus? That we will discuss later. Okay? That we will discuss later. So once again, what is Faraday's first law? Whenever the flux linking with the conductor is changing, whenever conductor cuts the magnetic flux, some flux links with the conductor, then EMF will be induced. That is Faraday's first law. And the amount of EMF induced mainly depends on what factors? Only two factors. One is the number of turns. Second one is the at what rate the flux linking with the coil is changing. At what rate, at how much speed, at what speed the flux linking with the coil is changing. That technically we will use the word rate of change of flux linking with the coil. Rate of change of flux linking with the coil. That is indicated by d pi by dt. N is number of turns. So according to Faraday's law, EMF induced is equal to N d pi by dt volts. So in this way, the EMF developed in the conductor is known as induced EMF. We are not giving supply from outside. Externally, we are not giving any battery or any generator, any voltage source. Okay? We are just keeping the conductor in the magnetic field only, no supply. The EMF is developed in the conductor. EMF is developed inside the conductor. That developed EMF is known as induced EMF. Induced EMF. Now such induced EMFs are different types of EMFs we are having. Okay? The induced EMF basically divided into two types. Statically induced EMF, dynamically induced EMF. So statically induced EMF. What is the meaning of statically induced EMF? Static means at rest. Static means at rest. So to develop the EMF, what we need? First we need the magnetic field, then we need the conductor. So if the EMF induced in a conductor in which both magnetic field and conductor are at rest, then such type of EMF is known as statically induced EMF. And the second one is dynamically induced EMF. So in both magnetic field or conductor, if any one is rotating, moving, either conductor is moving or magnetic field is moving, then the EMF induced in the coil is known as dynamically induced EMF. Now again the statically induced EMF, again two types. Self-induced EMF, mutually induced EMF. So self means we are not taking any help of others. The flux is in the conductor only, EMF is induced in the same conductor. Both magnetic field and EMF are in only one conductor. Then that type of EMF is known as self-induced. See, this is the conductor, number of turns we are having. If I give the supply, what happens? Magnetic field is developed. So because of this flux, again in this conductor, according to Faraday's first law, some EMF will be developed. That EMF is known as self-induced EMF. Or because of this the conductor flux developed in this conductor, if I brought this conductor near to this, if EMF is developed in this conductor, but there is no flux in this conductor, flux is only in this black conductor. If EMF is developed in this conductor, this EMF is known as mutually. Because of the help of first conductor flux, EMF is developed in this conductor. Then it is known as mutually induced EMF. So once again, the process of inducing EMF in one conductor. Okay. because of change in flux linkages. That EMF is known as induced EMF. EMF induced in a conductor due to rate of change of flux linking with that conductor. Listen the words carefully. EMF induced in a conductor due to rate of change of flux linking. EMF induced in a conductor due to change in flux linkages with the conductor, then that EMF is known as induced EMF. Induced EMF. So induced EMF is also two terms: statically induced EMF, dynamically induced EMF. Again, the statically induced EMF is two types: self-induced EMF and mutually induced EMF. So, now induced EMF, first statically induced EMF. So, what is the voltage induced in the conductor due to change in the magnetic field? Due to change in the magnetic field. But here, the conductor is stationary and magnetic field is changing in stationary magnetic system. The field value is changing, but the structure is stationary. It is not at all rotating. That type of EMF induced is known as statically induced EMF. For example, transformer. In transformer, there is no rotating parts inside the transformer, but EMF is induced in the transformer. That type of EMF induced is known as statically induced EMF. The dynamically induced EMF. The voltage induced in the conductor due to relative motion of conductor and magnetic field. Relative motion means either conductor is moving or magnetic field is moving. Okay. The relative motion, both should not be parallel. Okay. Both should not be parallel. The relative motion between conductor is moving or stationary. Magnetic field is stationary or moving. If this is stationary, magnetic field should move. If the magnetic field is stationary, conductor should move. If any one of the quantities, either magnetic field or conductor are moving, then the EMF induced in the conductor is known as dynamically induced EMF. The examples for dynamically induced EMF is nothing but generators, alternators. Okay, all these are dynamically induced EMFs. And statically induced EMF is nothing but a transformer. Is an example for statically induced EMF. So first we will discuss about dynamically induced EMF. So the EMF induced in the coil due to the physical movement of the magnetic field or coil. Okay. So this is the magnetic field, this is the coil. So either coil is moving or magnetic field is moving. The physical movement between coil and magnetic field, any one, then EMF induced is known as dynamically induced EMF. See here, the voltage induced in the conductor due to relative motion of conductor and magnetic field. So either conductor is moving or magnetic field is moving. So example is generators. Okay. So the EMF induced is given by E is equal to BLV sin theta. BLV sin theta. That I will explain later. See, EMF induced in a generator, DC generator, or EMF induced in an alternator. See, these both are nothing but dynamically induced EMFs. Dynamically induced EMFs. Now we have to calculate how much amount of dynamically induced EMF is produced. See, take this figure. This north and south poles develops the magnetic field of flux density B. The B is the flux density of the magnetic field. And here a conductor is placed. The length of the conductor is L. And the conductor is moving with a velocity of V. And the movement of the conductor with magnetic lines, the angle between the movement of the conductor and magnetic lines is theta. Then the EMF induced, the dynamically EMF induced in the conductor is nothing but E equal to BLV sin theta. E equal to BLV sin theta. See here I will say, since conductor is moving, suppose vertically downward direction. In this figure A, it is moving perpendicular. See, if this is the magnetic field and the conductor is moving parallel to the magnetic field, is it possible to attach the flux with the conductor? See, if this is the river and we are moving in this direction, is it possible to that water to touch your feet, river water? No. Okay, our movement and the river is in parallel direction. If you cross the river, then only you can touch the water. Okay, similarly, if this is the magnetic field, if the conductor is moving parallel to the magnetic field, in other words, if the conductor is moving parallel to the magnetic field, the flux cut by the conductor is 0. Flux cut by the conductor is 0. And hence, EMF induced in the conductor is also 0. But as in the figure, the conductor is moving perpendicular to the magnetic field. See, if the sun rays are 90 degrees, falling 90 degrees on the earth, definitely its intensity is more when they are at inclined. Similarly, when the conductor is moving perpendicular to the magnetic field, its intensity is more, maximum flux will cut by the conductor, hence maximum EMF will be induced as shown in the figure A. In figure A, the conductor is moving perpendicular to the magnetic lines. And in figure B, not parallel, not perpendicular. It is at an inclined position. This is the magnetic field. See my hand, and this is the conductor movement. So the angle is theta. So when the conductor is moving at an inclination of theta degrees with respect to the magnetic field, then the EMF induced is given by E is equal to BLV sin theta, where B is the flux density of the magnetic field, L is the length of the conductor, V is the velocity of the conductor, and theta is the angle between movement of the conductor and direction of the magnetic field. Now, how that equation is derived? See, conductor A is moving away from the magnetic field within the flux density B. Okay, so when it is moving, he like this, how much flux is attached to the conductor? How much flux is attached to the conductor? See, if this is the magnetic field, how much area you will cross, that much of flux will links with the conductor. Okay. See, on the blackboard, total chalk powder is there. If you are removing the chalk powder with duster, how much dust powder will attach to the duster mean? What is the area of the duster and how much area we are rubbing the duster? The area rubbed by the duster, in that area the total amount of chalk powder will links with the duster. Okay. Now, if this is the conductor and the conductor is moving in the magnetic field, so first what is the length of the conductor and how much distance it is crossed? What is the distance moved by the conductor? So in this total area, the flux in that total area links with the conductor. Let us take the length of the conductor as L and it is moving a distance of dx meters. Now what is the area covered by the conductor? How much area is covered? Length is L and it is travelled dx meters. So L into dx distance, L into dx area is covered by the conductor, L into dx. Now if it is moved this much of distance, what is the flux linked with this conductor? So the flux density is nothing but flux per unit area. In 1 unit area, flux density is B. So what is the area? In L into dx area, how much flux is there? L into dx into B. L into dx into B. Now this dx distance is travelled in a time dt. What is the rate of change of flux? L into x into dx by dt. Okay, L into x into L into b into dx by dt, where dx by dt is nothing but velocity of the conductor. Velocity of the conductor. Okay. So now we can say L into b into v. But if the conductor is moving at an inclination, if you resolve this inclined into vertical and horizontal components, the horizontal component is v cos sin cos theta, and vertical component is v cos theta, horizontal component is v sin theta. Okay, but due to vertical component, this vertical component is parallel to the magnetic line, zero EMF is induced. So we can neglect the vertical component v cos theta. This horizontal component v sin theta is perpendicular to the magnetic lines. Hence maximum EMF will be induced. So I will consider only horizontal component v sin theta. So EMF induced E is equal to BLV sin theta. BLV sin theta. So finally we can say the EMF induced in a dynamically EMF induced in a moving conductor is given by E equal to BLV sin theta. Here some terminology we have to use. L is the length of the conductor. Dx is the distance travelled by the conductor in the magnetic field. Dt is the time taken by the conductor to travel a distance of dx in the magnetic field, where dx by dt is equal to v is the velocity of the conductor, and theta is the angle between direction of magnetic field and movement of the conductor. So E is equal to BLV sin theta. If theta equal to 90 degrees, the conductor is perpendicular, maximum EMF will be induced. If theta equal to 0, the conductor is parallel to the magnetic fields, EMF induced is here 0. 90 degrees perpendicular, maximum EMF will be induced. Okay. So whenever conductor moves in parallel to the magnetic line, 0 EMF is induced, theta equal to 0. When the conductor moves perpendicular to the magnetic line, theta equal to 90, maximum EMF will be induced. Now the statically induced EMF. Statically induced EMF. The statically induced EMF is nothing but EMF induced in a conductor in which both conductor and magnetic field are stationary. Both conductor and magnetic field are stationary. This statically induced EMF is also two types: self-induced EMF and mutually induced EMF. Suppose two students are there. If one person is studying only, not taking any other help, he is preparing his own notes himself, no teacher is available for that subject, then we will say, what we will say? I am doing self-study only. Suppose another person is there, average student, he is asking questions and he is taking the explanation from other student, then we can say mutual study. Similarly, if two conductors are there, okay, the current is given to this conductor, flux is developed in this conductor. Because of that flux, again some EMF is developed in this conductor. Then that EMF is known as self-induced EMF. So I am bringing another conductor nearer to this. Then some part of this flux links with this conductor. So whenever flux links the conductor, again some EMF is induced. But here no flux is developed in itself. It is taking the flux, it is using the flux of first conductor. Hence EMF induced in this conductor is known as mutually induced EMF. See here, in the first figure we are having only one coil. So flux is developed with the coil. Whenever flux links with the coil, again some EMF is induced. That EMF induced is known as self-induced EMF. When to this coil I am bringing another coil nearer to this in second figure. So because of this flux, some flux links with this coil. So here also some EMF is induced. So this EMF induced in coil 2 is known as mutually induced EMF. So the EMF induced in the coil due to change in its own flux, like this coil. To this I am giving supply, flux is produced. Because of change in its own flux, some EMF is induced in this coil. This EMF is known as self-induced EMF. EMF induced in the coil due to change its own flux linked is known as self-induced EMF. Here flux is stationary and conductor is also stationary. Suppose to this, nearer to this conductor I am bringing another conductor. Some part of this flux links with this coil, hence some EMF is induced in this coil. This is known as mutually induced EMF. So here see, coil 1 I am giving supply. So magnetic field is developed in the coil 1 only. But in that magnetic field I am bringing another coil 2. So here coil 2 is also having some flux, but not its own flux. That flux is because of coil 1 only. So the coil 1's flux is linking with coil 2. Hence EMF E2 is developed in coil 2. So this E2 is known as mutually induced EMF. The EMF induced in one coil due to change in flux of another coil which is placed nearer to it, that EMF is known as mutually induced EMF. See in this diagram, here we are having coil A and coil B. Both are wounded on same iron core. So we are giving the supply to the coil A. When I am giving supply to the coil A, what happens? Magnetic field is developed in the total iron core, and this magnetic field links with this side also. Okay, this is not restricted to only this area. It moves towards coil B, that what side? Towards side B also. Here we are wounded another number of turns which is termed as coil B. So in that we have kept a galvanometer. It shows some reading. So because of flux developed in this coil A, some EMF is developed in coil B. So that EMF is known as mutually induced EMF. Okay students. So in this lesson what we discussed means, apart from the applied voltage, because of change in flux linking with the coil, EMF is induced, some EMF develops. That developed EMF due to change in flux linking with the conductor, then that EMF is known as induced EMF. This induced EMF, this related to one law is there, Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So whenever flux links with the coil, EMF is induced. That is known as Faraday's first law. And the second law is the EMF induced depends on rate of change of flux linkages. At what rate the flux linking with the coil is changing. Okay. So the EMF induced in a coil depends on number of turns and rate of change of flux linking with the coil. Now the EMF induced is again classified into different types. Statically induced EMF, dynamically induced EMF. EMF induced in a conductor in which either conductor is moving or magnetic field is moving. Any one of. See, to develop the EMF, these two are important. One is the magnetic field, other one is the conductor, or we can say coil. In between these two, if any one is moving, either coil is moving or magnetic field is moving, then the EMF induced in the coil is known as dynamically induced EMF. Or in other words, if the EMF induced in a coil in which both magnetic field and conductor are stationary, such type of EMF is known as statically induced EMF. The examples for statically induced EMF is transformer, and examples for dynamically induced EMF is DC generators and alternators. Now the statically induced EMF is also two different types. Self-induced EMF, mutually induced EMF. So now only we said to develop the EMF, the change in flux is required. Flux, magnetic field is applied. If the EMF induced in a conductor due to change in its own magnetic flux, Due to change in flux, due to flux its own magnetic field, then the EMF is known as self-induced EMF. Or EMF induced in a conductor due to change in flux, in another coil which is placed nearer to it. Due to change in flux in another coil which is placed nearer to it, then that type of EMF is known as mutually induced EMF. Okay, I will stop here. In the next lesson we will discuss about the concept of self-inductance and concept of mutual inductance, and how we will calculate the values of self-inductance and mutual inductance. Okay students, I will stop here. Goodbye.